I'm Jeff Nimnick.
And I'm Rick Paulette.
And we're the hosts of The Last Stand. Coyote hunting is my passion.
And coyote calls are my livelihood.
And together we aim to bring you the best predator hunting tips, tricks, and tactics, right down to The Last Stand.
The Last Stand, presented by Lucky Duck Predator Calls. We are the masters of deception. Swagger bipods. Shoot with confidence, shoot with swagger. OnX Hunt. Know where you stand. Hornady. Accurate, deadly, dependable.
What's up, buddy? I figured you park next to me on that side. The journey has begun. Patterson came from Kansas, 4-hour drive. We drove from Nebraska. Now we meet up.
These guys came from
South Dakota. I mean, we're coming from all over for this coyote excursion. It'll be awesome. So to start the trip off, I got a hold of a good friend of mine, Tyler Blades. He actually lives in New Mexico. Tyler kills lots of coyotes. He actually won the New Mexico State Calling Championship last year. So I got with Tyler and said, hey man, we're gonna be passing down through New Mexico on our way to Arizona. Would you like to get together and hunt coyotes for that first day of our trip? And obviously he said yes, and he said, you know, I'll start lining up some ground that in the past has been really good. You know, it was public as well, but I said, great. You know, Dustin and I have never killed a New Mexico coyote, so we were looking forward to it. We roll in, we head out with Tyler. It was a long night, so we got a little bit of a late start just so we could sleep a little bit. But we got out there and started making some stands. So it was a struggle with Tyler, and obviously, you know, him hunting with us, filming this show, he was feeling the pressure, which I felt bad for him, you know, because that is coyote hunting. Some days just the coyotes aren't there, they don't want to cooperate. You know, we were having a great time seeing new country, but I could tell he was starting to get kind of stressed out and just, you know, upset that the coyotes weren't there. We were able to scratch out a coyote middle part of the day. Dustin ended up shotgunning one that came in right behind us, which is, it happens in this country. So that was his first New Mexico coyote. But we got into that last stand of the day. It was a little more open than what we'd been hunting most of the day. And we split up a little bit. I was kind of covering the right. Dustin and Tyler were covering the left. And I fired up the call. Good shot. Good shot. And Tyler made just a great running shot on that coyote. He only had just a split second to make a decision, and luckily he made the right decision and had the right lead, and he cartwheeled that coyote on the run. And I switched up the call, and we kept going. Coming from the right. He's gonna come right to the call. Kill him right out here front. He stops. as the coyote cleared that last bit of brush, he was kind of locked onto the call, and the fact that Dustin had already got a New Mexico coyote, and I knew that was going to be our last stand, or my last chance to get a New Mexico coyote, I elected to take the trot and shot right in front of me out there about 40 yards and punched it right in the shoulder. You can't end a day any better than that. The last stand. We struggled today, it was a grind. We got into him right here at the end. First coyote came blowing through. I'm glad Tyler, I was trying to get on him and Tyler shot him just as he was going into that brush. I don't think we'd ever got another shot on him. He cartwheeled him over there, going into the brush about 150 away. Went right into some pup distress, then back into some rabbit. Maybe 5 minutes later, I spot this second coyote coming. Nice trot, just exactly what you want. You know, you can stop him. And I hadn't killed a New Mexico coyote yet, so he would have probably came all the way right to the call and Dustin would have shotgunned him, but no, that was a great shot, man. I had seen him cutting and I was just getting on him, and if you wouldn't have shot the second you did, he'd have got into that brush and we'd have never got another shot at him.
He just kind of started loping quicker, so I was like, it's now or never. So.
Heck yeah.
You were
And
about a second from losing your first one.
I thought you were gonna let it come all the way through.
No, I thought to myself, I said, should I be nice?
There's no being nice. How about robbing it from
you? Last chance
you?
to kill a coyote in New Mexico today.
He didn't even want to stop, huh?
No. Did you guys see him? Did you even hear me on the mic?
I heard you.
Yeah.
One
I
coming
saw him
from the truck.
I saw him coming from back behind there. Yeah.
Had his ears pinned back.
Sneaking in. Pretty
He is a pretty one right here.
That's cool color.
Pretty coyote.
Little pissed off pup.
This year's pup.
It was funny how he's all sneaking in with his ears up.
Yeah.
And all.
Yeah, he'd have finished.
Yeah.
You see the call? He's right. He was
Looking right
He
at
had
it.
his head down, coming right to it. I knew he was going to be a shotgun coyote all the way, but I couldn't pass up the 50-yard broadside trot and shot in front of me, and I got my first New Mexico coyote. So, Tyler, thanks, man. Appreciate you dragging us around all day, man. It's you know, public land. It's never easy, no matter how good you think it's going to be. It's always a challenge, but you know, in the Southwest like this, there's huge chunks of ground. And if you do your homework and you spend some time out here finding the right roads and finding the right areas, it can be as good as hunting as anywhere in the right day and the right conditions. So, but hey, we made the most of it right at the end of the day, and heck, couldn't ask for anything better. So after we leave New Mexico, our hopes are high. You know, we're heading to an area that Dustin and I have spent lots of time here in Arizona over the last 3 or 4 years scouting, and you know, 60% of the time it's really good. We've been in there before though when the coyotes just weren't in there, so we were hoping this was going to be one of our good years in there. So knowing this ground, we knew exactly what stands we were going to make. We knew what the wind direction was. We knew exactly what we were going to do, and we got in there and we started making stands, and stands that when it's good in there are good. We just weren't seeing any sign. We weren't seeing any coyotes. We made about 8 or 9 stands in a row and did not see a single coyote. Did not see tracks, weren't seeing anything. So we made an executive decision at that point to just pack up and make a big run and get down into a different area we'd always wanted to hunt, and use onX maps and find a new place and hopefully get into some coyotes so we could make this trip you know, worth it. Once it started getting closer to dark and we realized where we were on our path, Dustin started running through onX maps and looking ahead at a route and looking for possible public areas that we could maybe make a stand or two right at dark, which is obviously prime time. I think he caught some sort of scent because he whirled around and took off running. And that's the great thing about the shotgun. You know, that's a very hard shot with a rifle. you know, a coyote, when they spin around and take off running at 30 or 40 yards like that, but that's exactly what a shotgun's made for. And Dustin was able to put enough pellets in him to knock him down, and we were feeling pretty good. So we just drove down the road about 3/4 of a mile. We slipped in here. The light's fading fast, so we didn't really have a choice. We needed to get in and make a stand if we were gonna get one in. Same setup. Wind's blowing back behind us a little bit. I'm gonna start off with some TNT cottontail. There's a dam right here. It looks pretty thick on the other side. I'm gonna cover this since I'm a left-handed shooter. I can swing in this pocket and shoot that. But our strategy's gonna change a little bit. It's dead calm almost. We're gonna try to stop and shoot that first coyote with our suppressed rifles instead of that loud shotgun. Straight up to the truck. And over by the dam. Along the base of the dam, there's one. It's up on top of the dam. See a dang thing. It's getting dark on us pretty quick. Luckily, we have some yellow grass out here. We heard these coyotes howl way out behind us early on, and then he started challenge barking us, booger barking us with howling. I think he could see the truck, but I kept switching up pup distresses, and he come up over on the dam, and I couldn't see him. Dustin shot him. Man, this couldn't have worked out any better, dude. I mean, I don't know. We've struggled. The last 2 days have been. We set this up months ago to come and hunt this stuff. We've hunted and scouted and planned for the last 5 years, and we've had double-digit days on it. We got to it yesterday with Tyler and some of his ground. Today with some of ours, and it was slim pickings. And we finally made a decision. You got to do that sometimes when we have access like we have here in Arizona. We just pulled the plug and said, you know what? Let's go. Let's just go find some new ground because they're not here for whatever reason, or if they're here, they're not wanting to come to the call. So we made a big drive. We're gonna go scout some new ground tonight for tomorrow and the next day. And Onyx maps is so important when you're hunting not only private, but these huge, vast expanses of public ground. Dustin spent a couple hours on the phone just kind of looking over places, looking over things, and we kind of timed it up when we'd be there, about an hour before dark. It was 86 degrees. And it cooled off right before dark, and we came in here and killed 2 coyotes on 2 stands. Just to show you the power of using that map, looking at the terrain features. You can pull up satellite image on Onyx. We could see what was here. We knew this is probably, if there was coyotes in here, this is probably where they'd be. This is a thick, big drainage. Too bad we're not going to be around here in the morning, but we'll mark this on the Onyx. We'll be back at some point in the future. So it's our second day in Arizona. We made about a 5-6 hour run down here to southern Arizona, and we're basically just gonna kind of wing it. We had a general idea of where we wanted to go, but when you're talking, millions of acres of public access down in here, we really didn't know, where to go exactly. So last night we came out and did a little scouting. We came out and did a little howling to kind of find out maybe where these pockets of coyotes are at in this huge, vast expanse of ground. So that gave us a chance to put together a little game plan for this first couple stands of the morning. And then hopefully we'll get pattern these coyotes on kind of where they're at, what they're doing, and hopefully we can put together a good day. It's pretty calm out. I'm just gonna start with some TNT here. Not very loud, maybe 12, 14 tops here on the call. Baby. on stand here for about. This one's coming in good right here. Heart shot him. We've only been here 6 minutes, we've shot a double. Patterson shotgunned the first one coming hard from the left. He said there was a second one, so I switched up to the pup distress. Went with some schoolyard brawl. From what we heard last night, there's coyotes in here. If they come to the call like that all day, it's gonna be, that's one thing you don't know, scouting like that, howling for coyotes. That tells you that they're in there, and that's part of the biggest thing. It doesn't tell you if somebody, they've been, hunting public land, they could be pressured, they might not be. You just never know. So, but at least you know that there's coyotes in here, and that's a good start. So we're gonna put together, we laid out a plan last night. Hopefully the weatherman was right on his wind direction, and I think our plans are gonna be good. Working through this, we'll let the sun come up a little bit, and man, it's gonna be a good day. Good start to the day, man.